maybe, I mean, I've seen the debate, and Dubai must express, disappointment in some of our parliamentarians. I've said this, I think I need to repeat this. Honorable Madi Sise, if he is watching,
yes.
I once had an interview, I think it was Sergio Brito, Fatu Network, and I said, this parliament, if we're not careful, is going to be the worst parliament in the history of this country. Yeah. And he was like, no, he came out and, responded and said, no, the Essa will be proven wrong at the end of the day. This parliament is the most effective, it's the best, blah, 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 and all that. But, sometimes they take things personal. I'm not necessarily talking about you as an individual, but in parliament, right. So it's parliament. I'm not saying that he's doing a good job, even though I saw the Rent Act, I mean, it's good.
That was good.
That was good. But then, again, implementation, enforcement.
Yeah,
that's it. So, but for in parliament, if you look at this National Assembly, Janimbe Duna diaspora vote for the reject. Tilimbali mal yal melianum ko yeke banko kang and the selfish fenko yemenkeje from our point out. Well, sometimes it's difficult for opposition from a fence or a member mansa. Because I mean, you look at that country. I've talked about this before I came. What I'm told Tanung and all that. It may mean a fenna. I mean, you're talking about government wastage, mismanagement of resources and all that. But I don't find you moto lamian is in millions.
3.5 million.
2.5 million. Who cares? Nimbedo Jola, not only Mondoleba Kerale, or Alcana Moto Yinta. Not only Bakala family attack. But again, you look at Ika Katiofa Yaman in parliament going for their selfish interests at some point. Even though some UDP MPs will say, justification of Malafka peace bill reform or change in the constitution. We thought that there would be a new constitution, these things will be addressed. But you went ahead and changed the age limit. You went ahead and changed Section 91(1)(d), which literally now protects you. The new law, they are protected. Their seats are protected in parliament. So you will be kelen. Ni nata diaspora. So we tilimbali ala kiekan Gambia. Imanke nila interest be dami ibeka kambene. But nila interest dami kan yo sabaw to support party lines. Yindo NPP kota, UDP kota, yindo kota. Diaspora voting ning, I must mention, I watched Almame Jiba on Ikelfato. And he was arguing on constitutionality. I saying that I think the minister misled them. And that's why, not a surprise, he came out, at least to say, there's another way out. I'm like, but why didn't you? We all saw how Tamiru was passionate when he brings, bill to parliament. And we saw even Yankovatura's case, he was there, the first day he was there in court. So he was passionate about what he was doing. But Dauda will bring something without being passionate about it. He will not even defend him. So he misled them. The Section 39 of the Constitution is very clear that every Gambian citizen, 18 and above, and of sound mind, shall have the right to be entitled to vote. You understand? And voted for. So member it went further to say, shall be entitled to register in a National Assembly constituency for this purpose. Now, for a National Assembly constituency, constitutional I'll follow diaspora creator for more for. I mean for every Gambian, and I'm for Melbe Banda Melbe Cook every Gambian. So it's the planet Mars level war, Pluto level, Neptune level, Earth level, Minto level, whatever. As long as you're a Gambian, you have the right to vote. So, Melbe diaspora, until be able to constituency letter. Until about Talinding constituency. Register me in Talinding constituency. You are from somewhere, Old Yundum.
Yes.
Register, somebody from Old Yundum. Somebody from Kiang West. Register the person in Kiang West. If that makes you register. Come here for Senegal, plans or Wale diaspora constituencies. But Nimtol Parita. Maybe that's start with that. We could just vote, allow our people to vote in presidential election. Start with that. Parliamentary election, we can see. Even parliamentary election, we can have a paper ballot system for diaspora.
A system that can accommodate.
Exactly. Mabul and Drombari use can game mobile follow. You understand? So, but people can be registered in their different constituencies. You don't necessarily have to create a separate constituency, diaspora constituency, so that they have a seat in parliament. For the state on the Lua accommodate, then we can bring that. But for now, we have this opportunity to make sure that our diaspora continue to vote. Some people might say, well, why should the diaspora vote if we got tax? But hey, just last year, $775.6 million. You're not talking about dollars, but dollars. Now what I contribute? Well, I'm now part of the diaspora, right? So I'm major on the side. So
correct.
nobody contribute. So I mean, and that's like 30-something% of 30.1 or so of the GDP. Now you are telling us that, and not only that, but diaspora ka project like Gambia, the diaspora club Nyadija. You talk about different people, melam ko be borol kila Gambia, ibe cool kila Gambia, and now you're telling them that no, you can. I can understand you say they cannot contest for. If you have, or from a near dual citizenship, sorry, you cannot contest for presidency, you cannot be a minister, and you cannot be in National Assembly. It's not like Nimu diaspora there. They being in the left and contest no president because passport kidnapping Gambian passport. Yeah. So being in diaspora doesn't mean that you cannot. So, but then anyway, from the contest of president, that's not my area. Anyway, that's not
you can
something.
Contest too.
No. So, but so if like you have that dual citizenship, but carte fayo as basic fundamental right. A fundamental right, like is basic as referral, just to allow that put more fun and fair. So I don't think there should be a problem in that. But I mean, the Minister of Justice, parliamentarian mislead, and politically he's serving a political master. I mean, so they just went ahead and did that. And in Njie, even all boils down to the draft constitution from Njie. That's not something we have not talked about just in a minute or so. Even if you look at the draft, so the diaspora voting, Gambian diaspora have the right to vote, and make sure that but I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, at Akela, because they don't have the political will. Even when you look at the Alcalo attestation issue, that also some people are complaining, but I was aware of this because I was one time a rapporteur for the National Assembly in a select committee on constitutional matters, and when they were looking at this specific electoral bill, I was there. Anyway, I was a rapporteur, so I could not talk. But even some opposition, you'll be surprised, even some opposition parliament, they wanted this to remain. So when I some of them came in front, I'm like, but you were there, some of you. Not all National Assembly members, but some of the people that were in the committee. Because you can't get a favor. But most of them are in favor. So you look at the draft constitution, reject Nyaming, I saw people saying, just in a minute, before. I mean, I saw some people saying, constitution will become more favor, Halman do adopt, at least a new constitutional sort of. I'm like, Gambians, why do we settle for substandard? Yen banko jele. Banko la constitutional BTM. La constitutional cabinet ya sort of BTM. You're talking about hundreds of years. Yeah. And in BTM, 25 amendments. Now, new 25 amendments are being found. But 25 amendments, so that is why they still have the same constitution, right? France, 1958, Charles de Gaulle came with the Fifth Republic. Constitutional. You go to, even India, when they gained their independence in 1947. So, Bankol Bejemen Kabirin Sanjelu, Sanjumalem Bank, wala Sanji Talulo, wala Sanji Jelu, the same constitutional lesson. Fun the Bolan to bank every time new constitution, every time new constitution. Can't we create a document, a legal working document or framework will survive the test of time? Will be there for like 100 years, or 200 years, or 300 years. But Africa having a Finkerton drone, you become more baby. It at a brown now, $116 million or more was spent. You banko be around, you dice for around. You're fine. I told man taka tunya from man side. Falka Kasial Kalka dialogue initiate Alka opposition. Altita Manzalia for going in Menkaman correct. You understand? So, I mean, the constitution told Sulata Mena Wolemko a proper document, legal framework, may along mobile fundamental. So, Eko ha ngani money na amendment on K. 1997
they said that is possible too.
No, but why do we have to go in for that? Munati nanta document sort la meya nonko. Wo amendment jamali kamelde because 1997 in 2024 and difference by the come on for time limit. In fact, this draft constitution has given more powers to the president. 1997 you cannot even remove a nominated member. But this one is saying that you can remove a nominated member. You understand? The 72 hours Fenco for draft 2024, I say some 48 member, it's like 72 hours. IT appointment and all that. So accountability in one man. And for me, in my opinion, that's my humble opinion as Essa, a constitution that does not embody the principles of accountability is just a mere emphasized paper. For me, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So accountability is missing. People are not even talking about that. When I saw some people talking about this draft constitution, and they don't even look at that element. All that they are concerned about is time limit. Time limit, don't forget that. Time limit, these are provisions in the constitution. Sometimes they can even change them. We have seen it constitution manipulating them, even though some of them can be entrenched. But then when people are transformed, when leaders are transformed into dictators, they don't care about what the law says. So you go time limit for so far you go 50 plus 1 mem for. I mean, all that they need is 50 plus 1. It don't lie back. So for me, woman can mean issue. People will vote them out. Whether 50 plus 1 BJ, or a time limit BJ, you may vote all. But need accountability. Boka citizen or banko dingola ke restrictly. Ibeka fenke no. So accountability for me is the most important element of a constitution. That is making sure that institutions are held accountable, from the presidency to the executive or ministers to the National Assembly. I mean, to all other state institutions and public officials are held accountable. But no be botaji. I'll come concern at least we have time. Sometimes, Buba, when I sit here and watch some people talking on the media, I can come fale, but at some point I feel like how do you even take a reason at least time limit bejele, at least femko bejele. In time limit damala do 1997 though. And if 50 people they could make amendment then. Nothing then go use. But I mean, so that's not it. So I feel like a lot is happening in that country, and we have a responsibility as citizens system correct member in that country so that everybody will have a better life.